Welcome to Northwest Marine Industries. Let's do a factory tour. If you stick around to the end, we'll have a special invite for you. So when a customer wants to order a custom boat, something that's a little different than something straight off the lot, we meet in this room. We go over all the different options that we offer. We also do custom layouts in the boat, so we can move bathrooms around, we can delete bathrooms, we can raise the roof. You just have to ask. So one of the main things that sets us apart is all the materials that we use are a rolled, knitted fiberglass material. And we'll see later on in the shop where they get put into the molds to build the parts and build the boats, where they all get laid in one big piece that all overlaps each other and creates a very strong product. So we don't use chop out of a chop gun in the manufacturing process for strength. We do one small layer of chop on top of the gel coat, so you don't see the material print through. This pattern would print through the gel coat if we didn't use a layer of chop, but other than that, it's all a hand-laid material that's all overlapped and very, very strong. All of our coring materials it's all a composite material, so we use foam in different areas, and we use a couple different types of foam, and then we also use some PVC honeycomb product that we use in bulkheads and interiors, some of the floors. We use that. It's very, very strong, but it's also very lightweight. And then we sandwich it between 2 layers of fiberglass. It's got a perforation on the back that helps it go around corners, helps the boat stay efficient and lightweight with anything above the waterline. So back down in this part of the shop is where we do all the lamination process. So all the parts come in here to be built. So right now we are building a 28 C-Sport for a local customer. And so down at the end is the hull, in the middle is the deck or the cabin, and then we have some of the parts in here. We have the floor for it's on this mold here. We've got some hatches, but in here is where we build all the interior components, all the roofs, all the decks, hulls, all the miscellaneous pieces get built in here. So we can peek back in here again, see where they're laying up this 28 C-Sport hull. So in here, the first layup is done in the hull. So they're doing the coring material in the bottom. So you can see the green foam. It's an H80 high density foam. It's getting vacuum bagged in, and then they'll pull the vacuum bag, like the top layer has already been bagged in, is dry. They'll take and grind all that smooth and then put a couple more layers of fiberglass over that foam to lock it all in and finish the layup on that hull. You know, with what they're doing here, it's hard to see, but like this is how far each sheet overlays. And then the bottom sheets overlay the sides that far. And so that's what makes it also overlays onto the transom. So that's what makes it one big solid piece when it's all done. So when they're done, this essentially is what they are. So the boat that's in that mold is this boat. It's the little different color, it's black stripe, but essentially it's the same boat, the same as the other one down there. So the 28 Commander C-Sport has been a very popular model for us lately. I think we're on number 8 for the year already. Back here in the back part of the shop is where, when the parts get done in lamination, they get popped out of the mold, they come back into this area. This is where the decks get put together, the rails get put in, the windows get cut, the roof goes on, and then on this side of the shop is where bulkheads get put in, stringers get put in, all that kind of stuff gets done. So this 28 came back in this area, got popped last week, came back into this area. If you look inside, you can see some of the bulkheads are going in. You can see that honeycomb, PVC honeycomb material in the fiberglass panel that we put in. Again, all of it's composite. The stringers in this boat, as well as most of the boats we build, are all a solid fiberglass channel material, like what's sitting here on the cart. That's the forward section of stringers for this boat. So they're a solid fiberglass, no plywood, no, yeah, all composite. Makes the boat very, very strong. So back here, like I said, this is where the bulkheads are going in, all the stringers, the floor. Once they get all that stuff put in, then they'll spend, there'll be 3 guys spend a good part of a day sanding the whole inside of this boat, and they'll paint every square inch, even if you're not gonna see it. They'll gel coat paint it. None of the components of the interior or the bulkheads are glued in or screwed in or caulked in. They're all fiberglass, top and bottom. So that makes for an extremely strong structure to the boat, really good solid foundation. And then again, they'll climb in there, sand every square inch of the inside, all the cupboards up in all the little cubby holes, and then they'll spend a whole day painting up inside everywhere. 20 years down the road, it won't smell like a 20-year-old boat. So we kind of go over and above when it comes to that type of thing. So back here, after that gets done, it'll get pushed in the paint booth. Right now they're just doing some touch-up paint on it, but this is where all the molds will get painted before they go in there. And then when the boats are all done, sanded, that's where they'll go in there and get painted before they come over to this side. We do all of our own upholstery here in-house. We have patterns that get fit into the boat and make sure everything fits nice and perfect, get all the angles right. We have lots of different colors to choose from, different types of material. So they're fitting cushions throughout the build and curtains and all that type of stuff. And then, yeah, we have electricians that do all the electrical and electronics and all that type of stuff. This boat here is days away from being done. So we're just doing the final caulking, sealing, testing. Our boats go through a very thorough testing process as far as checking for leaks, electrical things. We load all the electrical down, make sure nothing's gonna fail. And then we'll put it in the water, break the engines in, do all the setup, run them, make sure it's propped right, make sure we get all the RPMs and the speed we want. So all that stuff has to mesh together, work together. So we'll spend a couple days making sure all that stuff works and all the settings are right, and before we hand it over to the customer. So that's a little tour of what we do here at Northwest Marine Industries in Bellingham, Washington. If you'd like to schedule a tour, click on the link below and we'd be happy to show you around.